Chapter 50. Mountain Shaking 5 Elements, Gang. Han Yi tightened his robe and stepped into the Great Hall. He saw 4 outer sect disciples standing in the center of the Great Hall, heads bowed and ready to listen. Among them, he recognized Lin Shihuang, an offspring of the royal family of the Great Zhou. The other 4 were unfamiliar to him. They were not mediocre, though. Elder Guy stood in front of them, seemingly explaining something. His loud voice echoed through the hall. Sister Shen, standing beside Elder Guy, spotted Han Yi and waved at him with a smile, gesturing for him to come over quickly. Only after Han Yi approached did he clearly hear what Elder Guy was explaining. This Hanshin 5 Elements Gang is different from any other technique. There are no written instructions or physical carriers. It's a divine power that needs to be comprehended. You all must remember it well, as I will only demonstrate it once. Han Yi, you boy, hurry over here. Elder Guy had evidently sensed Han Yi's presence, turned around and called out with a gruff voice. Han Yi dutifully stepped forward, nodded at Sister Shen, and then paid a bow to Elder Guy. Greetings, Master. I apologize for being late. You're not early nor late, just right on time. From now on, I will be demonstrating the Hanshin 5 Elements Gang, and you should remember its principles. Yes. Only then did Han Yi start to observe Elder Guy's initiating move in earnest. Elder Guy stood motionlessly, then suddenly struck out a fist. The movement was slow to fast, from visible to invisible. He explained as heat tact this fist was comprehended from elements such as mountains, sun, moon, and plants by the first peak. Master of pure Yang Peak, over 100 years of cultivation on a lofty mountainside. Day and night he trained in rain or shine, twilight or daylight. It is a top-tier divine power named Hanshin 5 Elements Gang. As Elder Guy demonstrated the technique, a ferocious fire gang ki was projected from his fist, enveloping his body and forming a protective layer like an armor. The ki scattered around like jet sprays, shooting him off the ground into the air. Once you have cultivated the gang ki, with the robust true ki and magic power, its might will be even stronger. This is the fire gang among the 5 elements. The surrounding disciples longingly felt the turbulent airflow and the whistling sound from breaking the wind. Did you remember it? Elder Guy landed back on the ground, showing no emotions, and asked. The surrounding disciples looked puzzled and embarrassed, shaking their heads. They genuinely could not see clearly, even though Elder Guy had intentionally slowed down. Even Han Yi, who was exceptional in martial arts and had the unparalleled fist intent attribute, could only capture Elder Guy's speed and a few moves. It was impossible to replicate it without error. He instantly realized the difficulty of this technique. Mainly, there were no written instructions or diagrams, one could only rely on comprehension. Elder Guy, seeing that no one remembered the moves, shook his head in disappointment. The reason I taught you the Hanshin 5 Elements Gang in advance is for the sect's big competition at the end of the year. Pure Yang Peak's ranking has been declining year by year, resulting in fewer cultivation resources allocated. If it keeps going like this, the disciples of the sect will starve. So, this is also for your good, understand? His voice echoed like thunder, as resounding as a giant gong. Disciples understand. The disciples' spirits were shocked, and they all exclaimed aloud in unison. Elder Guy entrusted Sister Shen Yuxiang standing next to him. You take charge of the special training for these 5 people, including the demonstration of martial arts, comprehension of martial intent, and examinations every 7 days until they master it. Understood, Master. Sister Shen nodded slowly. Elder Guy looked at the 5 people, spoke indifferently. Remember what I said today, within half a year, the first one to grasp this technique will become a senior disciple of the outer sect. After he finished speaking, he promptly turned around and left. As the Master's oppressive presence receded, the other disciples finally dared to let out a sigh of relief. Sister Shen, is this Hanshin 5 Elements Gang this difficult? Han Yi asked Sister Shen. Sister Shen nodded. Of course it is. Do you remember what I told you? There are 3 types of technique inheritance. Paper-based, Jade Slip, and the Hanshin 5 Elements Gang belongs to the 3rd kind. It doesn't rely on written words but exists within the anomalies of nature and must be understood but not spoken of. Even our pure Yang Peak's founding patriarch happened to comprehend this technique while watching the sunset from the peak of a mountain, and few are able to learn it. So, what level of mastery have you reached, sister? Sister Shen revealed the Azure Water Gang key in her palm and chuckled. What do you think? All right. Han Yi smiled reluctantly, but for some reason, he felt the progress was too hurried. As per his understanding, a divine power like Hanshin 5 Elements Gang should only be learned upon reaching the Foundation Establishment realm. He, with the book-smelling intelligence, had barely grasped the supreme limitless skill over the last few days. Now, he was being asked to comprehend such a profound technique. The demands were indeed harsh. Concerned about something, master? Elder Sister Shen replied with a chuckle, "You're thinking too much. Nothing really happened. It's actually normal for our master to be anxious. Elder Yu from Ziwei Peak and our master have some unknown past between them, so they have to compete in the annual sect big competition. Pure Yang Peak has been surpassed for years. It's reasonable for our master to want to vent." Ah, okay. Han Yi finally understood. Night. Han Yi was cultivating in his room, drawing in heavenly earthly spiritual ki and transforming it into true ki for his danshin. To break through to the pool realm, he had to circulate plenty of Zhou's heaven, accumulating streams of true ki until it becomes as calm and steady as pond water. He consumed a ki nurturing pill that he bought earlier in the day. The ki transformation process was quite smooth and fast. The amount of true ki in his body was skyrocketing. A single ki nurturing pill could increase the ki 4 or 5 times. The effect was remarkable. The only pity was there were very few ki nurturing pills in one bottle, and he ran out very quickly. He felt as if he was close to breaking into the pool realm, and if he had enough ki nurtifying pills, he might be able to make a breakthrough. But he was out of spirit stones. Unfortunately, cultivating with the triple spirit roots was too slow, and he often hit bottlenecks, causing him to be later surpassed by others. Hitting a bottleneck, Han Yi stopped cultivating and stood up to inspect the spirit, gathering grass in the pot he had planted for experimentation. Although only a few hours had passed, green sprouts had already emerged. It's growing rather quickly. I haven't harvested the spiritual medicine yet, and other spirit seeds are even more expensive. There's just no way around it. He'll have to accept a task tomorrow. Han Yi felt insecure without any spirit stones, and to buy more spirit seeds, he needed more spirit stones. Making money was the utmost priority, so he decided to take on a task tomorrow. The next day, early in the morning light was dim. The disciples gathered in the task hall, all choosing tasks that suited them. Han Yi was no exception. He stood among a variety of tasks, selecting one that he could do. All of these tasks were divided into different ranks. Some tasks could only be done by golden core cultivators, while others were quite simple and could be completed by key practitioners. The variety of tasks is vast, ranging from hunting down demon heads who have smuggled themselves in, exterminating demon beasts causing trouble, and helping sect elders find their lost spirit pets, amongst others. There is often a voice in the Chamberlain's house late at night, suspected to be caused by evil spirits. Please eliminate these spirits. Reward: 200 lower grade spirit stones and 10 assessment points. Suitable for key practitioners. This task looks simple. It suits me. Han Yi nodded his head, reached out to accept the task. A delicate and small hand beat him to it, taking the task. Damn it! Who took my task? While Han Yi was annoyed, a woman in a white skirt and a dooley hat stood in front of him. Seeing this familiar figure, he was slightly stunned. Miss Chu, you're here to take a task too? What a coincidence, you too. The owner of the voice had snowy skin, and in her flowing white skirt, it was Chu Shanyu from Ziwei Peak. She turned her head, recognized Han Yi, and nodded in greeting. Miss Chu, could you please let me have this task? Han Yi said very seriously. Why? Are you running out of money? Chu Shanyu was puzzled. Han Yi sighed. Yes, I'm very short of money. Extremely short. Seeing his situation, Chu Shanyu pondered for a moment and said, why don't we work together to complete this task? You can have all the spirit stones. I just want an excuse to leave the mountain and avoid practicing swords, to avoid being nagged by the elders. All this just to avoid sword practice? Han Yi paused for a moment before repeating the question. I also want to hang out with my friends. Chu Shanyu replied with a soft smile.